Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we made $822. SCHD I held overnight. I sold in the morning, made $300 on that. And then Apple, I had a couple of scalp trades on it, made $522 on it. What I really want to say about Apple, Apple right now is showing a lot of weakness. I mean, just now in the post market, as you zoom in here, you can see that I believe it was because of Cisco, their earnings, but it went from 184 in less than 5 minutes all the way down to 181.88. So tomorrow when we trade, that's where I'm looking at for a bounce. And this area of support that I drew out has clearly broken. And if you're going to be shorting it, a good entry potentially to try it with a stop loss, of course, is 185. 185 tomorrow. I'm definitely looking for puts or shorting it. But if you zoom out on the 3-month, I'm going to bring this down now. I believe that we have potential bounce here in this zone. And this validates it for me. Seeing in the post market, it just bounced. It went all the way from 183 all the way down to 181.8. I'm looking at 182 as a potential scalp here. And here it is right here, consolidation in this area. And then there's consolidation right here where it acted as support. Lowest I see Apple going tomorrow would be 181. If we can get lower than that, this is an auto buy in my eyes. And you got to try that bounce. I mean, look, it's testing the support. If you look, just zoom out on the 6-month, 4-hour time frame, you have areas right here, which is 180, 180 here, 180 here, and now we are retesting 180 here. Let's bring Apple out on the 1-year chart. And as you can see, it has been riding this ascending line right here and right here as well. So if there's going to be a bounce, I want to be buying in this 180 range. That's where I'm going to be looking to buy. So that's what I've been focusing on with Apple. We've been scalping it pretty well, but we might have some more downside here. So we'll have to definitely be careful watching this. I wanted to bring up Google to attention because same thing happened in the after hours. This is the after hours here, as you can see on Webull. This is 1600, 4 p.m. and then 1700, 5 p.m. It went from, in the after hours, 146, and it tanked. And I'm honestly not even sure what the news is. I've been trying to find the news on this, but I can't. But it went all the way down 3% in the after hours, 3 points. So you look at it, it's a monster move, 146 down to 142 almost. And now it's consolidating in this area. So tomorrow, I'm going to be watching Google. If Google goes anywhere near 142, you bet I'm going to buy that first dip. Now, this doesn't mean I'm holding it the whole day, but this means that I'm definitely looking for it. Now, let's look at it on the 6-month chart, and let's see if we can, or the 3-month, and let's see if we can find some actual support here. Because we thought, we originally thought 143 was support, but now that I'm seeing it bounce off of that like that, I believe we're going to have to lower this target a little bit down to this zone and see if we can find anything here. So let's zoom this out. We got right here, we got 141 to 142. Let's see if we get anything. Here's your resistance, and then support. Let's move over. Let's get rid of this line. And as you can see, I definitely believe that there is potential here at this 141 area because you have clearly spots from 140.9 up to 141. So there's definitely a potential play here on this chart. Just got to be careful though, because if Google wants to sell off, you don't want to be catching one of these red bullets where you go from 153 all the way down to 140. Google's showing that right now, but I do think there's potential scalp bounces that we could be buying in this area at 141. So I'm going to be watching Google at 141, and definitely not going to be afraid to take a stab at it. And just follow a loss. If it breaks 141.8, just get out, take the loss. But I definitely think first try, not a bad attempt. My main trade on Apple today where I made the $500, when I look at the chart in hindsight, it looks kind of risky. But I'll show you what I was looking at because I bought around 10.05 or I think it was, 10.03. So I bought at 10.03. So I'll show you what I was seeing. So I'm going to zoom in. Apple started off at 185 at 9:30 at the bell, and all it did was sell off. And I didn't buy any of this. I just kept being patient, waiting, And what I was looking for was the bear flag, and then I was going to buy at the bottom of the bear flag. So I saw that there was a bear flag here, and I said, okay, there's going to be more downside, but I'm getting ready to buy. Then it was 952. It started selling off more. And then once it got down to about here, I almost pulled the trigger, and I didn't. And if you look at the bottom of the thing, it says RSI is 22. And I was going to buy there, but I chose not to. I waited till 10:03. And the reason I waited was because I saw another potential bear flag happening right here. I saw this resistance, and maybe I just got lucky this time. Didn't get caught bag holding, but it just looked weak. And then boom, there it was again, and it sold off. And I bought the bottom of this bear flag, and then I bought, about like, I don't know, 1,100 shares, something like that. And I got in at literally the bottom, 183.62. And then I sold it up here at 183.92. So that was excellent. But then within the inter channel here, I just bought the dip and then resold up. So I bought again at 183.62, and then I sold again a little bit higher. So I made like 30 cents and then made 20 cents here. And that was the end of the day. Theoretically, I probably should have been trying to take a long position here, but it just felt so flat. But then there it was. It got the confirmation. Because you could see here, it was an inverse head and shoulders, which I'll show you. And I was watching this, and I thought it was an inverse head and shoulders, but I was already up $800 on the day, and I try not to trade once I've met a similar goal. But there's one shoulder, and then here's the next shoulder. Oh, hold on. Let me just draw this out so it makes more sense. So that's one shoulder. Here's the head right here. And then the shoulder has to be higher than the head. And that was right here. So if you zoom out on it, there's your head and shoulders right there. There's the left shoulder, there's the head, and there's the right shoulder. And I was looking at this bar right here, and I was going to make my entry, and I chose not to. I was going to buy again at 183.62, and that was the magic number. And then boom, it went off, and it made that nice move from here, 183.6, all the way up to 184. And I was like, bummer. That would have been a nice 50-cent gain right there. But I chose not to take it just because if you looked at Apple all day, it was just so weak. So for me, it was hard to take this trade. I'm glad I made some gains, but I'm going to be more aggressive on Apple tomorrow because I just believe we're hitting an area of support here, which is going to be in this 181 range. Because when we look at that 1-year chart, we're hitting this ascending triangle. So if it's going to stay on this area, I think we're okay. But just got to be careful. 5 days, we've already sold off. Let's see how much. 5 days, sold all the way off, went all the way down to 182. It's about a 4% drop. So 4% drop in 5 days. And within 1 month time frame, just going from January 26th, it's only like 2 weeks, already went down almost 7%. So I always believe in Apple long term, but it's coming right to the area where I drew out this triangle. So maybe potentially we have another bear flag setting up, and then we get a nice sell-off into 181, and then we can get that nice bounce. So that's what I'm going to be watching for tomorrow. I'm going to be watching Apple for that level at 181. That's where I want to be buying. And then I'm also going to be watching Google because it made that new low at 141. I'm definitely going to be looking to buy. So whichever comes first, I'm going to try to scalp it and make some gains tomorrow.